I'm going to be explaining to you why Earth is so distorted. This may not resonate with you, and that's okay. So inside Source, there's 24 15-dimensional time matrices. This is like if we zoomed into one of them. I'll show you what it looks like when it's zoomed out. Okay, so zoomed out, this is all Source, and then everything is happening inside of Source, and everything's happening in a bunch of different time matrices, different possibilities, different planets, different beings, different everything. Sometimes they are able to transmute, or with their technology, go from place to place, but we'll get to that. So anyways, we're going to be talking about our specific time matrix. So if we zoomed into one of these to just look at it up close. Okay, so this is now if we zoomed into one of the time matrices. So this is 1/15 time dimensional matrix. Down here we have where Earth is at. I believe it was Harmonic Universe 2, there was a planet there called Terra. Terra is where we originally come from. It's our past, it's our present, it's our future. It's us everywhere. Because everything's happening at once, time is not linear. Our human mind wants to put the logic and make time like linear, but it's not. Everything's happening in like one big circle, one big cycle, one big in and out breath. So Terra will, if you guys want to know the history of that, we can get into it, but a short version of the history is because of intergalactic breeding, like other species coming into Terra, because Terra was like a beautiful place. It was like the Garden of Eve. So it was an amazing place to visit, get knowledge, all kinds of stuff. And we were the gifts there, and so to say. And respectively, when I say that we were gifts, I don't mean it like we were like this amazing, like best of the best. No. Like there's beings in a bunch of other harmonic universes that have worked on their worked on themselves with their collectives that are at a way different frequency than a Terrian. Like a Terrian's a beautiful, beautiful frequency. That was like, it was really where free will was really used in Terra, and that was an amazing time for us beings, for us human beings. Because we are Terrians, past, present, and future. So back to the story about what happened to Terra. So Terra ends up not being able to ascend as a planet. So kind of like an implosion. So because of this implosion, parts of Terra is blown off. It sounds super dramatic, I know, but that's what happened. So because of parts being blown, most of the Terra stayed in Harmonic Universe 2, where it still waits for us on Earth, for Earth to ascend, because Earth will ascend, because Earth is Terra, but in the past. So Earth was made using the part of Terra, because when it blows up, they send a piece down here, so then that way they can use that piece to create Earth, and then save the beings that were still floating in this dimension with nowhere to be. They've put Earth here so they can collectively come down here and then start over to help everything ascend up the time matrix cycle again. Part 2 of why Earth is so distorted. This may not resonate with you, and that's okay. So to do a quick recap, we were just talking about how Terra implodes. A part of Terra is used to recreate Earth and put us Terranians on Earth so we can reascend and redo this whole thing all over again. Because Terra is our past, present, and future. Okay, so one of the big reasons why Earth is distorted, it will need you to think out of the box. Just so you can like listen to the information, even if you don't want to believe it, that's fine. So in our harmonic universes, as you continue to go up and into Source, we have a bunch of Elohim, a bunch of founders. A lot of them are really amazing beings that don't even want to bother us, and some of them don't mind helping us and things like that. Some people channel these beings. Most of these beings are us in the future. So we have the ones that are the Elohim, which are very good. But to Creator, there is nothing like good and evil. Like, it's just beings being beings. But there are some that what you would say is on like the Antichrist blueprint, which are the ones that are trying to create a bit of havoc. And some of those got stuck with us in our time matrix, which would be mainly these guys right here that you see. So we're going to be talking about the Zeta specifically, because there's a bunch of beings that have like their part in history here on Earth, but the Zetas have they're really good with manipulation. Let me be clear too, like not all Zetas are bad. Same like all Dracos, which are known as the reptilians, aren't bad. Like same way you have good humans and bad humans, it's the same for them. So I'm gonna get into the Zetas and why they decided to start distorting Earth. So they pretty much had their planet imploded themselves as well. One of the main reasons their planet imploded is because they weren't really like ascending spiritually. They were very, very smart beings, but when it came to the emotional, they were very they were working on that. They were working on their ascension for that. So because of that, though, their planet suffered from that. They no longer have a home, and they think that if they can come into the Earth's time matrix, they thought then they can loop around and then go back into their time matrix, into their past, to fix their mistake. They were trying to do with what we are doing with Terra, which is very smart of them, but it just didn't go the way they thought it would go. So mathematics wasn't done fully correct. So when they came in here, they got trapped in here, a large amount of them. When that started happening, they realized that they could kind of live on Earth, but they would need to pretty much use our DNA as well. They were trying to use our DNA as well, so they could try to live on Earth and breathe our air and be able to sustain life here. At first, they didn't use humans, though. They didn't want to use humans. They used cows and things like that to try. Part 3 of why Earth is so distorted. This may not resonate with you, and that's okay. Okay, so as I was saying, the Zetas end up stuck in our time matrix because were trying to use our time matrix to go back into their time matrix in the past to fix their history and their planet, but they realized they're stuck in here pretty much. So their original intention when they came in here wasn't to affect us or to bother us. It literally was they were just trying to loop back into their time matrix. So when they realize they're stuck in here, they believe Earth is their best bet because it's the closest sustainable living planet there is in this time matrix that they could live on. When they did try it out, it still didn't work for them. So they tried to mix their DNA with lizards, cows, and things like that, so that those animals got abducted first, and that's how that started. When they realized that wasn't working for them, they decided they were going to try to do human experimentations, and they tried with corpses first, but they were having little to no result with that because they didn't want anything to do with humans. They didn't want to bother us. It just turned out they're just really desperate to live again, to find a sustainable living environment. So they end up coming to treat an agreement with certain interior governments to be allowed to abduct people. I know it sounds super crazy. I'm just think out of the box. So anyways, a good example also of when they started human experimentations was during Hitler's time, during the Nazis' time. They were actually very amused of the fact that he was doing human experiments to make the perfect breed, the perfect DNA. So they thought he was really onto something. The Zetas thought Hitler was onto something. So they were really helping him and his resume and really trying to make it happen for him. Until they realized this guy was just not making a breed that they thought was elite. They felt like there was a different DNA needed to make the perfect, human, and Hitler had other DNA in mind. So they didn't agree on it, so they decided, hey, forget about this guy, we're wasting our time here. Let's go check out British government. Let's go check out U.S. government. They start offering U.S. government and British government all these high-tech technologies. The government takes it on thinking they're part of the elite. But really, the government themselves don't even know, the interior government themselves don't even know the real agenda of these guys. And not only these guys aren't even telling them the full story of all the other guys that are manipulating them, the government, the planet, and everything else, right along with our entire time matrix. If you want to know about that, there's other stories on my page about that as well. So because the Zetas have a say in a bunch of manipulation, a bunch of propaganda, a bunch of news, they got their little sticky fingers and everything. They can even create all kinds of holograms that we believe are real and that we are a part of. And it's just events for propaganda. And that's as simple as I can put it.